Well, I just got a bite to eat, and I'm getting back on the highway, heading back to Northfield. It was so weird. Quite a divide between, it seems to be two groups of people. People that can go out to eat by themselves, and people that cannot. Now, my wife is the latter. She will not. She literally would starve to death. Rather, if she had to go and eat by herself, she wouldn't do it. It was funny, I was leaving the track, and you guys know that Tyler goes to their horses and helps out in the morning sometimes. And he was finished up at the Meadows, and I just saw him, and I was being polite. I said, hey, if you want, I'm going to eat. I'm getting a bite to eat at Bridgeville, just off the highway on the way home at Firebirds. He said, yeah, okay, I'll go. He said, who else is going? I said, no one. No one's going. I'm just going to go eat by myself. He said, you're going to go eat by yourself? Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat by myself. It stuck with me. And it was funny, I called Amy because I always made fun of her. I said, so you're just driving down the road, you're starving. You know, of course you can go eat at McDonald's or whatever. Everybody knows that. You can drive through. But you would not, if you had time, you're not in a rush, you have lots of time. The day's over. Ava's back from her field trip tonight at 9:30. I got tons of time. Not in any rush at all. You wouldn't go and eat somewhere okay. You'd rather just not. Because I just said, no, I wouldn't do that. I don't know. Anyway, long day today. Not a lot of. I didn't do a lot of work at the barn today. It was raining all morning. Everybody jogged. I made sure of it, but I did not personally go with any horses. Any of the minor issues that we had to work on. The only issue left, and it's very minor, is a splint left hind on Pretty Eyes and Lies. Other than that, everything else is completed. It was a very small list to begin with. I had talked to Tyler today and Tim, and we'll talk about Captain Incredible and a number of other horses today. Well, really just one other horse that raced today so far, but a number of other things. But I sat down and I made a calendar where I wanted to go, where I wanted to be. Now I got to look at what I hope he is, what he could be, and we formulated a calendar. Now by my estimation, he's going to race 15 or 16 times, not the 13 that I quoted the other day, and I think that's fine. Today was the soundest, the best, the most comfortable and strong that I've seen him ever. And obviously he won faster last week, but that was on the front end doing all his work. I knew that he was way better than those horses today, but for today to be a useful time frame, useful race for us, he had to be tested. I just thought getting away last and moseying up alongside them and doing a little work in that regard, carrying the water a little bit, so to speak, for the last half, might be a little more taxing. And the horse still doesn't feel tested. Earplugs in, wrapped up. It was just playtime for him. And I spoke to Dave Cologne after the race, and I said, he just does it so effortlessly. He said, this Dave Cologne, he's driven a lot of good horses. He said it's hard to believe he does everything that, and he said he just feels like he always wants to go faster. Not in a crazy, the most intelligent, subdued, surgical approach to racing. He does everything he could. Now we have to manage him. You know that. I know that. We've talked about it. But super talented horse. And he won very, very easily today. Looks like money was very good. On point. I didn't know how he'd be traveling back and forth from Scioto. He didn't go to Northfield. Yes, he did. Meadows, Northfield, Scioto, back to the Meadows. A bit of a whirlwind tour, so to speak. And he was as good as he's been for quite a while today. That looks like money. Back in short order. Track was firm, so it was fast. There was a little water on top. You'll see that at Mohawk sometimes. The horses will go big miles even though it rained. You're like, I don't understand. It's supposed to be muddy and they're going fast. Well, a certain amount of water will just make the track a little firm. And then they really dance. So both their horses were great today. I started my day, I'll tell you what, Addie is just getting old enough to be a little bugger. So I was exhausted last night, and I didn't feel good towards the end of the night. I think I ate something that wasn't agreeing with me. I felt a little bit like garbage last night. had to race in the mud, in the rain, and it was cool last night. Now I was lucky. I didn't get poured on the way I was supposed to, and today was great. Very fortunate today. Very little rain. I raced in. There was some mud, and whatnot, but not that. Certainly nowhere near what we got yesterday when I went on the track with Melisandre. That was insanity. How hard it rained. I told you, I've only remembered my entire life on Earth one time it raining harder, and that was in the Gold Cup when they canceled the Gold Cup and Saucer in the post parade of the Gold Cup and Saucer. During the post parade, they come back and raced again the next day. The only time in my life I ever saw it rain even remotely as hard as that was yesterday when I was on the track with Melisandre. That was intense. It rained so hard you could barely see in front of you. But none of that today. And truthfully, there was none of that last night. It was just a cold, damp night. And then you finish off with Mount Sproul, who I thought was going to win, and then goes out and makes a break, but was flat as a pancake before he made the break. He drew his blood today, but I can almost guarantee you, I can tell you what it's going to say tomorrow. Liver slightly elevated, AST quite a bit elevated. Hopefully, my hope is that we can get it pared down to an acceptable number before he races next week. And if we can't, then we'll have to take him out of the box. Those are our only two options. So I wake up this morning. Now, the usual routine. Now, Ava's was away today, the last 2 days at a field trip. The class, her entire grade, went to Philadelphia. Went to Gettysburg, obviously the Battle of Gettysburg. I assume they visited the Liberty Bell. I have no idea, but they were away. So I wake up this morning. I know that Amy was up early. I could hear her. Must have put the garbage in, I guess. And she left. So I get up. Usually when I get up, it's around 6:30, 6:25, 6:30. Get up, get going, get in the shower, have a shave, get up, and get the kids up, then get in the shower, do that. By the time I get in the shower, get ready, they're usually ready to go. We get out of the house around 7 o'clock, maybe 5 after. Go over to Starbucks. I just had supper. Well, I did one. And then we get on the road and get to school around 5 to 8, 10 to 8. School starts at 8. I wake up at 6:55. It doesn't happen very often to me because I'm the boss. I don't usually work for anybody. And I don't have long naps before the races and wake up late. So it's been a long time since I had that feeling I was late for something because I fell asleep. I jumped out of bed. I knew immediately I was late. Grabbed the phone. 6:55. I'm 25 minutes late right now. 25 minutes late. I run down the hall. Ollie's not in his bed. I'm like, oh, thank God. Amy took the kids to school. Oh, that's great. So I was going to just walk back, climb back into bed. I'm still very tired. I just, for whatever reason, poked my head in Addie's room. There's Addie. I said, what is going on here? Why would Amy take one kid? So I wake Addie up. Honey, you got to get up. We're a little bit late. I'm going to jump in the shower, do a shower and a shave. I need you to get ready. There's your clothes. I need you to get ready. And we got to get going, okay? You can't roll back over. You got to get up right now, okay? I want to hear you brushing your teeth in a couple of minutes when I jump in the shower. Okay. She jumps up. So now it dawns on me. Where the hell is Ollie? I said, Daddy, where's your brother at? Just like nothing. And I mean just like, what's 2 plus 2? Well, it's 4. I said, where's your brother? Oh, he had, so they go to a Catholic school, right? So you have to put in so many hours. I don't know why Ava does it, but Ollie does. He has to put in so many hours at the church park in the morning, every so often. And they'll leave at 6:37. It's happened. It happens all the time, probably 2-3 times a month. Addie says, oh, he's got service this morning. I said, oh, okay. No problem. Jump in the shower, shave, brushing. Didn't cut myself, adjusted. Jump in the shower. I made up a little time. I'm okay. It's like 5 after 7. I know I got to order Starbucks now. I'm going to be late. I was just about to order Starbucks. I'm walking out of the shower, and I hear the fan in Ava's room going. Now I'm mad because Ava's been gone 2 days. She shouldn't be leaving her fan on in her room. Walk in the room. There's Ollie. I said, "What are you doing?" He wakes up and he goes, "What?" I said, "What are you doing in here?" He goes, "Oh, I thought I'd sleep in this room. She's got a bigger bed." I said, "You've done 4 foot. Why do you need a big..." Anyway, get up. I said, "We're super late now. It's like 10 after 7. Now I can't order Starbucks." I said, "I'm going to go and get my clothes on. You better have yours on and your teeth brushed when I get my clothes on." He jumps out of bed, goes down, rusts around. I said, "Daddy," I said, "I thought you said he had service." She goes, "I thought he did." I think somewhere inside her, she purposely tried to get him left at home. There's like a 15-20% chance she knew what she was doing. She orchestrated the entire thing. I looked right at her. She had me completely fooled and baffled. The way she just, in matter-of-fact way, just said, "No, he's got service today." I just thought she knew. Why I would think the 6-year-old would know is beyond me, as I say it out loud. But she had me completely buffaloed. And then when I called her on it, "I thought you said he had service." "I thought he did." I'm not so sure she knew he did not. And I'm not so sure she didn't know exactly where he was when I said, "Where's your brother?" And you can imagine, I left him at home. He's almost 12. He would have been quite fine. Imagine if I left him at home, alone, and then Amy went to school to pick him up at noon to go to baseball in Ontario. And she gets to the office and says, "I'm here to pick up Oliver." And they said, "Okay, cool. Where is he?" Oh, I would have been in so much trouble. Now, as I sit here driving down the road, my drink, I know I would have got over it, but I would have been in a little bit of trouble. That little Addie, she's going to be a little terror. I'm upgrading. I think she had a 30% chance that she knew exactly where he was and that he was not at service. Anyway, it all ended well. I literally made up enough time where I could order Starbucks at the one. So I usually get Starbucks in Brunswick. You have to drive like 4 minutes out of your way to go to the one in Brunswick, but I like to drink it on the way to the barn, on the off chance I have to go to work as soon as I get there. There is another one in Northfield, obviously, we used to go to all the time, we still do. That's on the road of their school, kind of in a little bit in the other direction. It might be a minute out of the way. I could tell halfway to school that we had about a 4 or 5 minute buffer zone. So I did the responsible thing and I ordered Starbucks. Went to Starbucks and got them to school at 7:58. Now there's a big line for their school. It's a drop-off line. It wraps around the parking lot. We weren't even the last car. There was 3 people behind me. We weren't even the last people. So a little bit of chaos to start the day. And we were lucky. I was lucky. The weather, oh my God, I was just waiting for it to pour all day. The weather at Northfield and the Meadows is volatile. It can just change on a dime. And you could see, like, we were making it almost all the way through the day. I started the day in a summer suit. And I thought we were going to make it through the entire day like that. And then the heavens opened up and it rained. An ungodly amount of rain in a short period of time. And the wind picked up. I've never been in a tornado, and I know obviously it's a lot more than that, but the wind was crazy. If we had raced that race, it would have been an absolute dog's breakfast. There would have been horses on the run, and stuff everywhere. But today and last night, I mostly missed what was supposed to happen. Now, I was a little upset because I'm looking at tomorrow's card and I got a bunch of drives. Somebody must be out of town. Maybe Ronnie and Aaron aren't there. I'm not sure. But I was angry because it was supposed to rain all morning and early afternoon. And I was mad, and then it dawned on me they race tomorrow night. It's supposed to be sunny from 3 o'clock on. So it's going to be a nice night tomorrow. Our chances aren't as good tomorrow. Patrick drew the outside. Manhattan Money's in with a couple of killers. It's an okay bunch. Tenacious Hanover. Like, these horses have shots, but they'll be outside shots. But it should be a good night of racing. And then a number of horses racing Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. But we're in the heart of stake season for the 3-year-olds. It's starting up now and starting to get rolling. It won't be long for the 2-year-olds, as I started to say. Sat down and made a calendar for Captain Incredible, Arrowhead Hanover, Maury. Tonight I'm going to look at one. I'm going to look at making some up for the 2-year-olds. I told Tim likely what will happen, because next generation is July 1st weekend. 2-year-old stake races start in Kentucky June 28th. We will likely have 13 horses qualify on the 10th of June at the Meadows. Those horses will be all the Kentucky breds that will be ready to go. Probably Uncle Danny. At this point, anyway, Uncle Danny and Tomboy Strong, if I was to guess. Also, Perfect Thought likely will be on that list. She'll likely go twice. She starts on the 16th in New Jersey, so an easy qualifier on the 10th. Come back 7 days later with a little one, a little more stern, as and I would imagine we're heading down to New Jersey. So the list that I made up, I believe, was 12 or 13 horses on the 10th. Some of those horses can go back and qualify again on the 22nd, which would be our open house. It is official. I just got word back this afternoon. Our open house will indeed be on June the 22nd. That is a Sunday. We will be having qualifiers. Now, they haven't told me it will, but I can't imagine it'll be a problem. I imagine we'll be having qualifiers there. Even if you take those 12 and 13 out of our full-time roster, you're still looking at well into the mid-20s of horses qualifying. So I suspect we'll have somewhere between 26 and 30 horses qualifying on June the 22nd. But our first qualifiers will be June the 10th at the Meadows. So, with that, I'll let you go. We still have Tex Song Soprano tonight. But for right now, I am done for the day, and it's pouring rain where I am. About to get on the Ohio Turnpike. Hopefully you guys had a great day. If you certainly were involved with Captain Incredible, Looks Like Money, you had a great day. Man, oh man. Looks Like Money was fantastic again. One of his better miles of the year. And then Captain Incredible just put on. He's so good right now, it's hard to discern how good he is. You know, you want to dream and believe that he's that kind of horse, that killer, that freak that everybody would love to have. He certainly exhibits a lot of the qualities you think were in one. Just a sweetheart of a horse, quiet, doesn't do anything wrong. He has a great mouth on him, doesn't get too excited. You know, last week Dave left with him 27 and a piece from the rail. You think this week he might be a little grabby from the middle of the gate? Oh, he was cool. Yeah, fine, you want to get away last? We'll just get away last. He acts like an aged horse on the track, and his confidence is growing. There wasn't a tentative moment at any point in the mile today with him. Physically, he's getting sounder, staying sounder. So I think the program that Tim has him on over here, we talked about the shoeing adjustments we were going to make midweek. Now, this is a horse we've shot a special way, so he races and doesn't interfere with his knees very much. But in doing that, it puts a lot of pressure on his ankles and knees. So those are shoes that only go on him to race. He jogs and trains slow and flip-flops all week, and then gets switched into these shoes to race. It's a little unorthodox. I wouldn't say highly unique, a little unorthodox, but with good reason. So very, very impressed with what has taken place with respect to Captain Incredible over the last little while. The qualifier was good. His first start was great. Closing on the end of it. Second start showed versatility. Racing him on the front just devoured and obliterated everybody. Today, I knew he was going to be in a little easy, obviously, and I still wanted him to put an honest workout in for himself. Got away last. Came first over on a grind on the outside, sprinted him down the backstretch, wrapped him up through the lane, and the horse was absolutely amazing again. Probably next week off. The week after that, he fits that class once more, and then we'll probably race him for a little more of a test in the non-winners of 3, and that will almost bring him right into the Adios. Again, a little unorthodox. His first stake race of his entire life. Well, no, that's not true. First stake race of his sophomore season will be the first elimination of the Adios at the first part of July. Oh, why don't you do something with the potholes here? Love of God, I could have buried Captain Incredible in that pothole. See that? This is a 3/4 ton truck. I'm going to say that guy's pulled over because he hit the same pothole. Man, they were just doing construction on this road. I'd say they just left. Yeah, there's all the work equipment right there. Anyway, a tremendous day at the track today. Hopefully we can keep it going the rest of the weekend. We get a lot of horses in good spots tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Oliver's game's canceled tonight. Now, from what Amy's telling me and the parents are telling her, there's a good chance that at least one of the games will be canceled tomorrow night, which is also disappointing. But quietly, it means I get to watch him play more baseball on Saturday. So, how do your 2-year-olds look for this week? There'll be a short list of horses that aren't training on Saturday that I'll likely train harder on the race bike, probably by themselves. I want to get a look at where their mental state is and physically what they're doing. Of course, like Jailbird Jog and those horses. I'll go by myself on Tuesday or Wednesday with them. The other horses will train a little harder again this week coming up. There'll be a shorter list of horses to train around 2:40 on Saturday, and we'll continue on. It is getting very, very close to qualifying day for a lot of these horses. I know there's people that saying, well, it's only May 21st. June 10th will be the first day of qualifiers for our horses. June 22nd will be our open house. The horses will need to be ready to go at that point, and very happy with where they're at right now with their training. So there, you're all updated. I don't think I missed anything. Again, a great day at the office today. Hopefully we can keep it going the rest of the weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody. I know it's only Thursday. It feels like Friday. Take care.